As we start our discussion on digital art photography, we have to kind of suspend reality because digital art really is challenging the mind and seeing what we can do. Illustrations always must bend reality to be accepted. In other words, to get our psychology to understand it. Digital art assumes that there are no boundaries to where you can go with this art. It kind of frees our mind. And it transports us into a different world of color and design, showing us things that we really can't see, perhaps, or doesn't even exist, which really takes us, like I say, into fantasy many times. Now, this can happen in black and white, and it can happen in color. This whole picture, though it looks rather normal, is fantasy. This obviously is fantasy, obviously is a highly manipulated image. So digital art can transform in either black and white or color. It's not new to photography. We have done it for years, but with digital, it's kind of opened a Pandora's box to it. So let's take a look at some. Fantasy is a really big element to digital art today. All you have to do is go to Google Images and you'll see that there are amazing photographers doing amazing things with digital art. This example is a really good one. Lots of times what they'll do is take a normal insect or something like that and using Photoshop tools and things like that, manipulate them into monsters. You also see illustrative photographs where the photograph is pretty normal, but the effect that is being used is challenging our mind as to see what is going on. You can see otherworldly things in these examples that I'm showing here. Or you can take iconic images and manipulate them in such a way to make them look like a mosaic. And again, black and white or color, it really doesn't matter as long as the idea that it really doesn't exist happens. It really just takes you in a new direction. So one of the most prolific of this art was Jerry Uelsmann. Now, Jerry Uelsmann uses a variety of different types of pictures. He uses a thing called pre-visualization to go out and then combine images together to make visual statements. Now, the funny thing about this is he has been using film for years. He does it with 8, 9, 10 different negatives to put these things together. They look like digital art, but they are not. They are traditional film. And he is kind of on the forefront of this type of work, and he has many imitators. But as I said before, manipulation of photographs is nothing new, dating back into the 1900s with the famous story of the fairies, where many people were duped into thinking that this photograph was real and fairies actually existed through the magic of photography, to other manipulated images of the turn of the century and beyond, back even into the 1800s, where reality again was suspended. And people marveled at these type of pictures, which we see a lot of today. So digital art, Photoshop, all that has basically just accelerated this development of digital imaging. One of the key components of digital imaging is the use of iconic imagery. In other words, things from our past, like the man with the hat and the little girl with the dress and the fence. So digital imaging really takes us to a different level, but it has a root. Lots of times the most successful examples have a root in reality of some point that brings us back and helps us relate reality to the fantasy that we're seeing.